Hey, everybody. Welcome into Sports Hub STL presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And this is Domesticated Gamblers, your home for St. Louis sports gambling talk. I'm Eric Sontag. There's Tito Ulrich and Shawn Surwillo. We're here to get you ready for a big weekend of sports betting. We're going to talk about these red hot St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Nationals this weekend. We got St. Louis City SC at home against San Diego. The Battlehawks on the road at Memphis. We'll talk NHL and NBA playoffs. We got player props for you. And, of course, our best bets from across the world of sports. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the Sports Hub STL YouTube channel and leave a comment on this video, and we can chat with you there. Domesticated Gamblers also available on podcast on Apple and Spotify. And make sure to support the advertisers, guys. They are definitely ones you will love doing business with. Our show is brought to you by Samonides Sweets and James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. Guys, we are recording this on Thursday night, so it's another edition of Domesticated Gamblers After Dark as we look ahead to this weekend. So Tito, big vasectomy last week. You got baby number 6 you're taking care of. So how's everything in the Tito household there, brother?
Things are great. Tito's all healed up and ready to go. I tell you right now, my nuts are itching like crazy. Oh my goodness! You didn't tell me if I pick it that I'm gonna have some fibers down there that are gonna be making me scratch left and right. I got kids asking me what are you doing down there, Daddy? But I'll tell you what, Eric, it's things are nice and healed up, and I'm fired up. It's been a crazy week. I got a crazy weekend of sports. Let's get into some sports gambling talk. I don't want to talk about the damn Blues. I look like a damn idiot. Thanks a lot, Monty. I mean, what the hell are we doing here? You can't beat Connor Hellebuyck. I mean, big whoop on that. So let's move on. I don't want to talk about that too much, but I'm ready to hold you accountable, Fish, Mr. Sharp. I was at Busch Stadium. We're going to get into that in a minute, too. Whoa, man, I am loaded for bear tonight. Woo!
Yeah, Mr. Sharp. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
The itchy ball talk really threw me off because as a young fella, I knew all about the itch. I don't know, 15 years old. I'm a very hairy guy, so I knew all about that a long time ago. So that kind of blew my mind there, Tito, that you just figured that out in your 40s. But here we are anyways. Yeah, life's good. We got stepdaughters graduating from high school. She just had a award tonight. Teacher's award she won. She got 2 awards tonight. I'm so over the place right now. I've been all over the place, but great weekend of flag football last weekend. My son took a knee at the 1, so the offensive lineman could get a touchdown. He's never, he's kind of slow-footed, so we got him in there at the 1. A lot of winning going on here in Mr. Sharpie's world, baby. A lot of winning going on.
You raised your boy right, taking the knee at the 1 to let his teammate get in the end zone. That's good domesticated dad life right there. My daughter turned 8 this week. Got a party coming up on Saturday for her. So a lot of domesticated dad action going on here in the Sontag household as well. Fun time of year, guys. The weather's really getting good. Looks like we're not going to have any rain for the next week or so. We got these NBA and NHL playoffs, which is like insane every single night with this great action. And now we got these St. Louis Cardinals who seemingly can't lose anymore. So let's get going with our home team coverage. And it is brought to you by Samonides Sweets. Tito, we're talking about these half-pound cookies, Daddy. So tell us more about Samonides Sweets.
All righty. Well, cookie lovers and domesticated gamblers fan, prepare yourselves because I'm about to drop some cookie-fueled insanity straight into your snack-loving soul. You've heard me scream about these half-pound cookie monstrosities for weeks. And if you haven't listened yet, what the hell are you doing with your life? Samonides Sweets is not messing around. These cookies are so big, so beautiful, so mind-blowingly delicious, they could probably negotiate peace treaties if given the chance. And just when you thought you couldn't get any better, boom. If you spend $30 or more, you get a free cosmic brownie because life is short and you deserve brownie-fueled happiness. Let's talk flavors because, wowza, these cookies are practically illegally good. You got chocolate overload because sometimes more chocolate is the answer to everything. Sprinkle Deluxe for when you need a cookie that understands your chaotic energy. You got melt in your mouth, down in your hand. That's self-explanatory, but still somehow magical. White chocolate macadamia nut, the underrated goat of cookie flavors. And of course, Tito's personal obsession and honestly a national treasure, the chocolate chip. But wait, there is more. Samonides Sweets also has vegan and gluten-free options because everyone deserves excessive cookie joy. And their deluxe cookie collection is basically a gift from the snack gods. They got featuring cookies like banana pudding cookie deluxe and turtle cookie deluxe. Flavors so incredible, you'll write poems about them. Every single cookie is made to order, which means no crummy, sad, stale cookie nonsense, just fresh, gooey, pure bliss delivered right to your door. I got a call to action. Don't waste another second in a cookieless existence. Head on over to SamonidesSweets.com, place your order, claim your free Cosmic Brownie, and prepare for a taste experience so powerful you may legally need a moment to recover. Oh, and follow them on Instagram at Samonides Sweets. That's SAMONIDES. Indulge in sweet perfection with Samonides Sweets.
I can attest the Samonides Sweets cookies are delicious. They are an explosion in my mouth. There's a lot of almost like a Dickie V. Dickie V stuff without the voice. I was enjoying all the adjectives. They really are fantastic cookies. So go to SamonidesSweets.com right now. Order some cookies. Terrific sponsor here on the show. Sponsor of our home team coverage here on Domesticated Gamblers. And let's get started with one of the hottest teams in baseball, and that is your St. Louis Cardinals. They have now won 5 in a row, even though Tito looks disappointed about it. Yes, I know the last 3 have been against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but that's what you need to do against the bad teams, is you sweep the bad teams when you get the chance. Cards also won a series against the Mets last weekend to start this streak. They also have series wins against the Phillies, the Astros, the Brewers as well. And they are now back to 500 at 19-19. So obviously on pace for a record of 81-81 to hit that over of 75.5 wins that Shawn and me are on. Tito, you would lose the under of 75.5. But I want to frame the big picture Cardinals conversation like this, because this is something you can get some action on right now if you're high on these Redbirds and you missed, taking the over on the win total before the season. Right now on DraftKings, they have a market for teams to win 80 or more games. The Cardinals are an absolute coin flip in this market. Their odds to win 80 or more games are at even money plus 100. Now, you cannot bet the under with that. It's either you take it or you pass. So, Shawn, I'm going to start with you because the Birds are trending up. I know you were high on this team to surpass expectations before the season. I know we were both on the over, but I think you were even a little bit higher on this team than I was. So I guess, what's your big picture view of the Cardinals, and would you take that bet for them to win 80 or more games at plus 100 if you weren't already invested, in the 75.5?
100%. You're looking at the number 1 batting average in baseball. This team can hit. The pitching's middle of the pack where it should be. And I trust in Mozeliak with pitching. I trust he's going to bring up young kids this summer, help out the rotation, help out the bullpen. We have blown some saves, but Leahy's been a lot better. He's been stable, and I trust Helsley. I think we all do. So 100%, I'm taking the over. I'm betting that all day long. I like that bet. And the schedule makers haven't done us much favors. We've been on the road quite a bit, so we're going to get a chance to come back home after this long road trip. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I nailed this exactly. This team is what I thought they'd be. Victor Scott's doing what I thought he would do. Lars Nootbaar's doing what I thought he would do. And here we are. We're at 500, and we're in second place in the National League, and we're only 3 games out of the division. Watch out, Chicago Cubs, because we are the St. Louis Cardinals. We're the gold standard, not you, Daddy.
Ooh, all right. So Tito on the under 75.5 for the season. I'd imagine there's no way you're taking the over 80. But tell us what is behind this laughter right now.
You can't be serious. You cannot be serious, Mr.
100%.
You said that all with a straight face. Oh, you had this dead on. It's the first month of the season, and here you are talking about how, it's going to cash. This is simple. We're going to win the division. Watch out, Cubbies.
I didn't say
what
that.
What kind of dreamland are you in right now, Daddy? I mean, I know you've had a great week. Tip of the cap to what's going on with the flag football team and with your daughter and everything, graduating high school. That's a huge accomplishment. So that's awesome. I want to, definitely convey my appreciation for you as a father. But my goodness, related to this Cardinal team, I mean, the Kool-Aid has been slurped. I mean, this guy, where's your right holder's badge at? Let me see that. Why don't you pull that out from your neck? Because my goodness, I was at the game Tuesday night, and what an absolute embarrassment of an atmosphere. I mean, they've got serious issues. There was about 10 people there. They were all lined up at the damn playground. I mean, the last time I went to a ball game, I watched the entire game. I didn't go and take my kids to the damn playground. I mean, if you can't spend 2 hours and 15 minutes, yeah, it was only 2 hours and 15 minutes, folks. You can't spend 2 hours and 15 minutes watching a ball game. You shouldn't be going down to Busch Stadium. So, big woof on all that. But, again, folks, we've talked about this last week. The Cardinals have been excellent at home. And that's, tip of the cap. I mean, they're taking care of business at home, but they're still the third worst team on the road. They're only trailing the White Sox and who was the other team? The White
Colorado.
Sox and the Rockies. I mean, those guys, the two absolute dumpster fire. And they just swept the Pirates, who just fired their manager. So, I mean, that's a sign of things to come. If you get swept by the Cardinals, guess what? Your manager's probably going to be getting tossed here rather shortly. And don't give me this nonsense that they're going to be on the road. Yeah, sure, they'll probably take 2 out of 3 against an attitude, because that's an absolute embarrassment of a franchise. But then you got 3 against the Phillies, who they're no nonsense teams, and then people are
We've
already
beat the Phillies. We already beat the Phillies in the series.
At home, because you're good at home. So that's great and everything. But then you go to Kansas City, and everyone wants to talk about, Kansas City, they're not that relevant. They're like 15-5 at home. They're even better than the Cardinals by a game at home. So watch out for us to either get swept or lose that series next week, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So, Tito's not sweating it. I'm fine. The 75 and a half under is definitely going to cash. I'm not going to sit here and say I guarantee it, but there are things that are promising. That hitting is looking pretty promising, but Jordan Walker needs to pick it up. Nolan Gorman still hasn't figured it out. I mean, you still got Mason Wynn, who's lined it up ever since coming back from the IL. Victor Scott is on fire with the stolen bases. So there's a lot of good things to think about or look at. Matthew Liberatore has been awesome. He's won 6 innings, I think, every start except for one, and that's because they got rained out or whatever. So there are some really, really cool things to look at for this ball club. But pump the brakes on whether or not we're going to win the division or challenge for a playoff spot. Let's tone down the rhetoric just a little bit, Charm.
Sean, where is your breaking point? I want to ask you, Sean, before I forget it. I'm curious, where would be your breaking point for taking the over on this team? Where would the win total have to be set?
85.
85. So if it was 84.5, you would take the over.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Tito can say all these things and dog them, but baseball's a numbers game. Who's number 1 in batting average?
Cardinals.
Who's number 1 in defense in Major League Baseball?
I looked this up, depending on the metrics, as I'm going to talk about it too. The Cardinals it depends on which stat you look at defensively, but it's been very, very good.
Yeah. And so we know you got a team that hits, you got a team that can field the ball. We know Helsley's going to get it turned around, and we're going to get Mose Aylock's going to bring guys up. This is Mose Aylock's MO. You've known this for 20 years. He brings up guys out of nowhere, out of the bullpen. Yeah, he does. Trevor Rosenthal, we can go into it. We ain't got time for all that. That's his MO. So I'm not worried about the bullpen at all. Not one bit. And I just think that Cardinal fans are just like Tito. They want to talk about all the negatives, but come on. Just have some fun with the team and let's ride. Show your heart on your sleeve like you talk about. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's win this division. Let's shock the world like the Blues.
They're just throwing hosannas at their feet related to these young players that are actually hitting and getting on base and stealing some bases. I mean, you want to talk about Mose like bringing up pitchers. I mean, if you look at what was the kid's name? Michael McGreevy comes up, shuts him down, and he gets sent right back down when you have other Jags that are just wasting space. I mean, what are we doing here? And Steven Matz has actually been a pleasant surprise in the bullpen. But my goodness, you got Miles Michaelis, who's a big wolf. But we need to be bringing up these younger guys. If Mosaic is such a wizard that you call him, then he should be bringing these guys up now because they're on a hot streak. If you want to take advantage of it and try to make a run, that's when you would bring them up now, not not in September, not in late August. You would do it now.
Okay, who's the gold standard in the National League right now? What team?
The Los
Dodgers.
Angeles Dodgers.
What do the Dodgers do very, very well with their pitching staff?
Put them on the injured list.
And
they develop them very well.
But they also
manage innings.
What do they do with the minor league with their pitching staff? They call them up, they bring them down. They call them up, they bring them down. It's okay that McGreevy got called down. He will be used this year. Calm down. That's the one talking point everyone can talk about. What are they doing? They know what they're doing. He pitched. He needs rest. There's no reason for him to be on the roster. Bring someone up you can use on the roster. He'll be back up. It's okay.
Yeah, he will be back. He will be back up at some point. I mean, one injury, he's the first guy to come up. I don't agree with every little move that, Mozeliak has made or not made here, since the season been going on. But overall, how could you complain with, where this team is at? I think they're at least meeting expectations, if not exceeding them in some people's eyes. If anything, I wish Palante doesn't look right now. It just, his last 3 starts have really not been good. I wouldn't mind if he was the one that was sent down a little bit to get himself right while having McGreevy up here. But I just, I understand why they're doing what they're doing with that. But it just, for me, like that bet specifically to win 80 or more games at plus 100, I actually think that's priced like absolutely perfectly. And I agree with you, Shawn. Like I was on here ready to toot my own horn. This team's like right where I thought they'd be. Like I said before the season, I think this team's going to win about 78 to 82 games. I think that's pretty spot on. And 80 is right smack dab in the middle of that range. So, I think if you're already invested in the over 75.5, sounds like Shawn would put more on it on the 80. I personally would not invest any further. I think I'm just going to ride that out. And I feel pretty good about it as it stands now. But like, if you're looking for some action and want some extra reasons to cheer on this team, I think putting a unit or two on them to win 80 or more games is a pretty decent bet. Like, I know, like, some Cardinals fans, they don't want to admit it. They just want to bitch about everything. But like, this team has some exciting pieces. Like, this Victor Scott is giving you exactly what Cardinals fans have been dying for years now. Dude plays an exciting brand of baseball. He's got 11 stolen bases. His OBP is up to 359. Shawn, I know you've been talking about putting him in the leadoff spot potentially. I see the argument for that for a Scott, Wynn, Nootbaar, 1, 2, 3. I think that'd look really good. Scott's even got some pop. His Victor Scott's OPS is pushing 800. It's 772. So
I'm sick about that because I dropped him in fantasy because his OPS was 700. Now it's raised 100 points, and you picked him up. Great pickup.
Indeed, I did. Thank you. And then you got, Nootbaar and Donovan have just been fantastic all year getting on base. I know Newt's bat has slowed down a little bit here lately, but he's still getting on base at a very high clip. Contreras and Wynn have gotten hot. Burleson's finally starting to swing the bat a little bit. We got Ivan Herrera coming back this weekend, it looks like. I mean, basically offensively, everything is looking good except for Walker and Gorman. And I know that is super, super concerning, not just for this season, but for the long term. I know we talked a lot about them last week, so I don't need to rehash that. But just if you look at the overall offensive numbers for this team, I mean, after this weekend in Washington, we're going to be 25% of the way through the season. Like it's, I think after this weekend, you can no longer say it's early. Once you're 25% of the way through, that's, you got a decent sample size and the numbers still look really good overall. You mentioned it, Shawn, the number 1 team batting average in all of baseball at 260. They're number 6 in OBP, number 11 in OPS. So, some really good offensive pieces. The pitching side, Tito Liberatore, absolutely, man. We talked a lot about him last week. I think not only are Cardinals fans starting to fall in love with this guy, I think when he beat Paul Skeens this week, baseball fans in general and analysts are starting to pay attention to Liberatore because he got that big profile win. And Skeens pitched great. Libby just outdueled him. He did. And credit to the Cardinals. Shawn, you mentioned that the bullpen is not a real big concern for you. I mean, really, a few weeks ago, it was an absolute disaster, but it's really stabilized over the last couple of weeks. Our teammate, Bernie Miklasz, props to him for digging up these stats. I looked this up, or he looked it up and tweeted it out about when Ryan Fernandez, he hasn't looked right all year. He got blown up in that game in Atlanta where he blew that day game. It was back on April 23rd. He blew that game against Atlanta, and he got sent back down to Memphis. At that date, the Cardinals bullpen ERA was 5.11. Ever since then, it's been 13 games and the bullpen ERA is 2.66. So this is really stabilized. The defense, Shawn, I was super concerned about Wilson Contreras heading into the season. Like, oh, we're going to get all these errors, not only with him missing ground balls, but like all those throws that Goldie would dig out that we took for granted.
He has been shaky a few times.
Not much though, and that's what I was getting at. That I think he's been rock solid. If anything, I don't even notice him out there, which is a good thing because he just looks like a first baseman. I don't know which stat you were looking at, Shawn, for the best defense in baseball. I know I just looked at the errors stat. Yeah. They've committed just 16 errors this season. Only 7 teams in baseball have committed fewer. And then also because the Cardinals give up so much contact with Michaelis and Fetty and Palante in general, the Cardinals have more defensive chances than any team in baseball. So it would stand to reason they would have more errors. I'm pretty sure they're tied for 3rd in the league in fielding percentage. So I know I'm going on and on about this, but like big picture at the end of the day, we're 40-plus-year-old men. We've seen the Cardinals win World Series. I want to be entertained. I want to enjoy watching my ball club, and I am enjoying watching this team play. Like I look forward to turning on the TV every night. And from the gambling perspective, I feel pretty good about over 75.5. And I absolutely think this team has a decent shots to win 80-plus games. So like, I'll get off my soapbox for a second, but like, Tito, if I convinced you at all, like, is this over? Jump on board with us. It's okay. You could change your opinion when new information becomes available. Are we swinging you at all?
Oh, no, it's all good. I don't believe I'm all good. I'm going to keep on hammering on this team. I love the young studs. I love the pitch. I love some of these players. Victor Scott bring me back to the 80s when I used to go to Busch Stadium too. And I used to stand in the aisle impersonating every batting stance. Willie McGee, Jose Oquendo, Ozzie Smith, all those, Jack Clark, all those guys. So brings me back to my childhood in there. But the numbers are pretty cool, yeah. But the fact of the matter is it's still really early. And there was a great mind that once said baseball season doesn't start till after Flag Day. So we're about a month away from that still. Yeah. So let's cool the jets just a little bit. But you mentioned, watching the games at home. Yes, folks, for the ones that are watching this right now, keep on watching the games at home. Be entertained at home, because if you go down to Busch Stadium, there's no energy. From being a season ticket holder at City, and I have plenty to say about City on the pitch, but that atmosphere, I'm sure the atmosphere at Battlehawk games is a lot different. But at Busch Stadium, big whoop. It's like a damn morgue down there. People are down there. I don't know who's down there. I don't know who's paying attention, who's not paying attention. No one's having fun. I mean, you got that one guy trying to get some energy up, but nobody's playing ball with that whatsoever. So it's a big woof. Keep on watching the games at home, and let's see if Tito is wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope I'm eating some crow in September when you guys are all making fun of me about holding people accountable and holding up Mosaic accountable and Oliver Marmol accountable. But I'll tell you what, let's see what happens, because it's still really early.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ollie, but this year he's made strides. And I think he's actually called out Mosaic for the bullpen help. He's done some things. He got wind in the 2-hole when he should have. I like what Ollie's doing this year. You got to remember, Ollie took us to the playoffs when Pujols came here. We had Pujols and Molina. I mean, that's pretty hard to walk in as a manager with Hall of Famers. Adam Wainwright. Do you really put your stamp on the team when you got those kind of guys walking around the clubhouse? That's pretty hard. So give the guy a break. Pump it a little bit, Tito. He's not the worst manager of all time. He's not Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny was handed, World Series teams, and we all know what Mike Matheny did. So just calm down. This is more of Ollie's team, I think, for the first time. I actually do. I think this is his team, young guys, and everyone's gelling. And the downtown thing, we can get into that. I just think people don't want to go downtown for some reason right now, and the atmosphere does stink. I've talked about it. We need a home run celebration that you see around MLB. A lot of teams have that in the dugout. Fans like that. Whatever it's the spear with Seattle, or it's the chug with Splash Zone in Baltimore. So yeah, we need some more excitement. Fred Burgess running around. It's getting old. Throwing T-shirts into the stands. It's ran its course, and I expect that to change next year.
Well, yeah. It's not even that. It's also just the the product on the field is actually pretty entertaining. Like, I mean, like you said before, like Victor Scott, what is he, like 13 for 13 stolen bases? He gets on base a lot. He steals bases a lot. So, I mean, that's not what I'm complaining about. The fact of the matter is, yeah, you'll hear me talk about, I'll hold some people accountable, but I like this young club. I like some of these young studs. I mean, there's a lot of things to be excited about from a fan perspective. But if you go down there, the fans itself, there's no energy, like from the fans. That's what I'm talking about. There's no slow claps. I mean, the organ, the guy playing the what's that thing called? The organ, I don't even know what it's called, whatever it is. He's trying to get people engaged, and everyone's just sitting on their hands, reading the damn, like on their phones, doing TikToks and all that crazy shit. Like, watch the game and be entertained. Get loud. Let's go. But there's none of that. It's like a damn funeral out there. Big whoop.
A lot of that has to do with fans complaining all the time, and they just want to complain about the team. They don't want to go down there and just cheer them on. I think this
is very much, and they've used the phrase. At first it was a reset, and now I think the transition was the phrase or term that they're using to kind of label the season. I almost feel like it's kind of like that for the fans too, because I feel what you're saying, Tito. Like, especially on those weeknight games, like the Monday or Tuesday night games, man, like there's barely anybody there. It's dead. Like it, but I think there is a lot of Mo fatigue, just kind of fatigue with how the organization has approached this. Really, since 2016 is when we really started to see signs of this, where like the end was coming, and they still had a few good years now. I mean, they made the playoffs like 4 years in a row, but just like I feel like the chickens have kind of come home to roost, so to speak, these last couple of years. But really, like, I am glad they were like, someone that has a problem in their life and finally admitted it at the end of last season. And they're making steps to make changes. And I think we are starting to see the beginning of that. We're starting to see some of these players that are going to stick. It looks like VS2 is going to stick. Liberatore is going to hit. It sounds like where he's really, I mean, Cardinals might be hitting big on Liberatore. He could be a frontline starter for a really long time. So I feel good about this team. Now that they've kind of said, okay, we have a problem, we're taking steps to fix it. I understand they were kind of boxed in with certain moves they could not make because of no trade clauses and whatnot. And part of that's their own doing, giving out those no trade clauses, giving some bad extensions, the Michaelis and whatnot. I feel like Michaelis is always the dog. He gets it beat up on, but he's just been pretty good this year. I do want to kind of transition then to more of the gambling talk. I love this conversation, but I guess it's kind of my big takeaway is I think I agree with you, Tito. The atmosphere is lacking. But as the team gets more exciting and new leadership comes in with Bloom, I think fans are going to slowly get more excited too. And if they keep playing like this, I do think, summer gets nice. People are out of school. It's just more fun to be downtown, on a Monday or Tuesday evening. I think that could be some good things to look forward to. This my poor Michaelis. I think this weekend is a big weekend. And I don't want to like overstate this because it's 3 games out of 162. But I've talked about this, that I'm really concerned about the starting rotation outside of Gray and Liberatore because Fetty, Palante, and our boy Michaelis, they just don't miss any bats. And I'm worried about them getting crushed as the weather warms up. And the Cardinals are in Washington this weekend to play a team that I think also has some young, exciting pieces. Like, hello, James Wood. This kid is going to be an absolute star. And your 3 starters for this series in Washington are Fetty, Palante, and Michaelis. So again, I don't want to overstate it, but I just think this is a big weekend for this team. You haven't been able to win on the road. You're 4-13 away from Busch. And now you're starting this. It's a 9-game trip. No more Pirates on this trip. I mean, Washington, I get it. They're, what are they? 17-21, I think. 17-21. But again, I think they're kind of a team that's slowly on the ascend, similar to the Cardinals. And then you got to head to Philly and Kansas City. You mentioned the Royals are hot. Tito, I looked it up. They're the hottest team in baseball, 15-2 over their last 17 games. So this could really go sideways here if Fetty, Palante, and Michaelis don't deliver this weekend. The updated numbers for those 3 combined, they almost have identical ERAs. They're like in between 4.75 and 4.78, all 3 of them. But the 3 of them combined, it's a 4.76 ERA in 107 2/3 innings. They have just 60 strikeouts in those 107 plus innings and 49 walks. So big time concerns with the underlying numbers for those 3. It's Eric Fetty getting the ball on Friday against a left-hander, Mitchell Parker, who started out hot, but he has really just gotten destroyed his last couple starts. Let's talk about this game on Friday with Betty against Parker. Nationals a very narrow favorite, minus 115. Cardinals at minus 105, and your total is set at 8.5. Shawn, I'm going to start with you as our gambler. Where are you leaning for this game with the Cardinals and the Nats on Friday?
One thing I would say here is Nationals are a young lineup, and I like the experience that Michaelis will bring against that young lineup. Young players are usually, they swing outside the zone. I like Michaelis this weekend. I know you guys give me a hard time, but I think he can expose that young lineup. As far as Friday goes, yeah, this game's on Apple TV. It looks like bunch of woof there. Yeah, I don't love the number. The Cardinals do have the off day. This is not a play for me. And if I had to play it, I would take the Nationals because I think we're due to lose a game. I just think the due factor's ready. You're not going to just win. I mean, I'm going to hope we win 10 in a row. But if I had to bet, it'd be a small lean on the Nationals. But I still think we take the series, and that's my take. I think we win 2 out of 3.
I believe you can bet that on DraftKings as well. I saw that earlier today for series, and I think it was a flip. I think it was like minus 110, minus 110. Yes, series props, the series winner.
Tito, I know you're laughing at me because I know what you're thinking. Oh, this guy went on and on about the Cardinals. They're so good. How can he bet against them? But that's what makes me sharp. I'm not always going to bet them. Not always going to bet.
Big whoop on Apple TV. I mean, come on. All right, Boomer. I'm sorry. My goodness.
I just don't like the broadcasters much on Apple.
How much of a tragedy was it that Albert Pujols' 699th and 700th home runs were on Apple TV? It was Dan McLaughlin then, right? Oh God, this poor guy not being able to get those calls. Dan McLaughlin was incredible that season with his calls on the Pujols home run side. Sidebar. It is a national slight favorite to win the series on DraftKings, minus 115. Cardinals minus 105. So same odds as tomorrow's game. Tito, where are you going for this game on Friday?
Yeah, absolutely love the over on this. I think both offenses are gonna put some wood on it. So I'm loving the over on this. And hey, let's go. Maybe Tito jump on the bandwagon this weekend, see how they do against the lowly Natitude, but. I'm not going to keep my fingers crossed or my toes crossed, but let's go with the over on tomorrow night's game.
Talking about them Royals, I text Eric that I like the Royals to win that division a few days ago. They're a big sleeper team for me.
Yep, they're second favorite now, plus 400 to win the division. Tigers at minus 160. Yeah, Royals, obviously young, exciting team, very good, making the playoffs last year. Tito, I'm totally in lockstep with you. The over really stood out to me as I was looking at this. So Fetty, I feel like Fetty's last start pretty much sums up his season. He went 5 innings against the Mets. He gave up 6 hits and 5 walks with just 4 strikeouts, but he somehow survived and only gave up 3 runs. So
tough lineup, though. Tough lineup. Hey, you got Juan Soto, Alonso's crushing the ball, Lindor. You'll take that against a tough lineup.
Totally, but I mean, would you agree he's been totally living on the edge this season with just
21 Ks, 21 walks?
Yeah. It's been really, really bad from that perspective. And Parker, it's funny. It's almost like an exact copy of Fetty. Fetty, 21 strikeouts, 21 walks. Parker has 21 strikeouts and 20 walks this season. So Parker, he got off to a great start with his results. On the season, he was 3-1 with a 1.39 ERA in his first 5 outings. But regression has come hard for him over his last 2 starts. Parker has gone a total of 9 innings over his last 2 starts. He has allowed 11 earned runs with 9 walks and just 1 strikeout. So he has just been god awful his last 2 starts. So my only concern with this over, Tito, is the regression has already come, and now he's back to where he actually is. But I think his total ERA for the season is still in the 3. So I still think there's more regression to come for this guy. So I'm totally with you, Tito, over 8.5. You got these 2 starting pitchers that give up a lot of contact. They walk a lot of guys. And then this Nationals bullpen is just absolutely dreadful. Let's play a little guessing game, guys. Shawn, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think is the Nationals team bullpen ERA?
Oh,
Nationals bullpen.
I'll say
ERA.
8.2.
Tito, what you got?
Oh, 5.4.
I mean, Shawn did go over, so I guess Tito, you technically win the Price is Right, but Shawn was closer. 7.22
Oh, jeez.
is their
Really?
It's dead last in baseball. I don't even know how that's possible when we're
Yeah,
almost
the
in
bullpen,
mid-May.
Big wolf on that. Bullpen ERA is that high. My goodness.
I mean, don't you
Get
feel
some
better?
arms and attitude.
You got to feel better about the over. Like, I was already thinking
Yeah.
over, and then I saw that stat. I'm like, instant, that's a bet for me. The
I'm
Cardinals
going to be
got a
on
lot
the
of-
over now. I'm going to be on
Yeah.
the over now instead of small lane on Washington for sure.
Yep, I'm a big fan. If you like an over, take the full game for the over, and if you like an under, take the first 5 for the under. Especially when you got a bullpen as dreadful as Washington's, take this full game over. The Cardinals have a lot of bats that are feeling good about their swings right now, so I think they have a good offensive night on Friday. I also don't trust Fetty, so it probably only takes one of those pitchers to get blown up to hit this over. And if both of them get blown up, you're obviously going to hit it. So this is a pretty strong play for me. It's definitely 1 unit. I might do 2 on it. I think this number really I think it should be 9. And it's 8.5 at -110. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of room there to make this a really, really good play. Shawn, I
Coming
also
off a day of rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Nationals have a day of rest too, so their bats will be feeling good. So, Shawn, I understand you've been digging into the player prop market for Friday a little bit across Major League Baseball. So, if you got a few plays picked out for us, fire away at us, brother.
So we call this May Schwarber. Cal Schwarber owns the month of May. This guy's incredible in May. He hits bombs like nobody's business. So I like Cal Schwarber tomorrow to hit 1 homer. He's at plus 340. And then we got the Miami Marlins and the White Sox. Luis Robert over a half stolen base here. I like him to go over a half stolen base at plus 360. So at $10 on DraftKings, that can win you 192. So, put those in a little parlay pop or little parlay player prop. And then I also like Yelich to homer. Tampa Bay is kind of a launching pad this year. They're playing in a minor league stadium, so the weather's heating up down there. I like Yelich to homer at plus 400. So if you want to throw all 3 of them together, that's Schwarber to homer plus 340, Luis Robert 1 stolen base plus 360, Yelich to homer plus 400. $10 would win you 1,000, and those are Sharpie's props of the week, I guess.
Man, it's a pretty nice little path there, a little lottery ticket for it. You were telling us before we started recording why you like the Robert stolen base prop. So tell us what you were thinking with that.
Yeah, Miami Marlins are on pace to actually allow the most stolen bases ever recorded. They cannot throw out anyone. I think it's something like 68 stolen bases already. And the next team has 40. It's a crazy number. And Luis Roberts running like wild. Tito knows he's on his ball club. And Eric knows Kyle Schwarber owns May. I think he's already got 3 home runs already in May. So that's what I like. That's what I like this weekend.
Tito, you feeling Mr. Sharp's plays there?
I'm going to head over to Illinois tomorrow morning. I'm going to drop a little dime on that one and see my I don't even know what you would call a $1,000 bet. That would be amazing. I could definitely use that.
$1,000 payout, yeah, on $10.
I definitely would play the top 2. Schwarber and Robert are my heavy leans.
Yes.
The Yelich, if you want to throw that extra one in there, go for it. There's no real numbers on that. I just know it's a launching pad. And Taj Bradley, woof. Whatever.
Mr. Sharp loves Tito's fantasy ball club because I got both. I got Yelich and I got Robert. So let's go.
All right, I love that. I love the prop betting talk, boys, because with baseball season in full swing, it is time to step up to the plate with DraftKings Pick 6. Download DraftKings Pick 6 and think of it as your fastball right down the middle. It is the easiest way to play for cash and take a shot at a big win, like Shawn was just talking about. Just select 2 or more players and choose if they have more or less of a stat. So for me, for Friday, I'd be looking at, over on the earned runs for Fetty and Parker, over on their walks, under on their strikeouts, kind of all those things. Love the plays that Shawn was just talking about, in particular, the Schwarber play and the Luis Robert play. Those are the kinds of things you can do on DraftKings Pick 6. It is available in most states, including right here in Missouri, along with California, Texas, Georgia, and more. So cash in your baseball knowledge. New players get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Okay, guys, let's talk some soccer in St. Louis City SC. They'll be at home Saturday night against San Diego FC. So since last we talked, City got crushed at Seattle last Saturday, 4-1. It was embarrassing. My +1 looked really good when they were up 1-0 in the first half, and then they just had nothing after that. It was terrible. Then they come home on Wednesday. They beat Union Omaha 2-0 in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32. So to give you an idea of what that Union Omaha game was like. And I was thinking of this today. This kind of reminds me when like Mizzou basketball plays a team like Lindenwood, Tito, your alma mater, where it's kind of a mismatch. Basically the way the game went on Wednesday, it's basically like the equivalent of like Mizzou was tied with Lindenwood at halftime. And then the Tigers like pull ahead midway through the second half. And then they stretch it out late in the game and they do end up covering. Like City did end up covering the -1.5 spread on Wednesday, but it was not pretty at all. They get an absolute banger from Joey Zielinski midway through the second half to go up 1-0. And then Union Omaha, they got to open things up and chase the game. And then Klaus got free and he added a late goal to make it a 2-0 final. So yes, they do get the win, but it was not very inspiring. And now San Diego comes to town. And the odds makers really don't have much separation between these teams. A City is a slight favorite at +145. San Diego is listed at +160. The draw is at +250. Total set at 2.5. The over is highly juiced at -150 for that over 2.5. The under's at +120. So Tito, I am not feeling real great about City right now. It seems like just your facial expressions that you agree with me that the vibes are not good right now.
Likewise, brother. Big woof. If you're watching this on Friday, get on over to Illinois and bet on this. This City doesn't have a prayer, okay? San Diego is going to come into town and take care of business. Hit San Diego money line while it's still plus money. My goodness, what are the odds makers thinking? And yeah, last night, big woof league. What is it? U.S. Open Cup, Lamar Hunt. I'm not a Lamar Hunt fan. You got the damn Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to get on my soapbox right now, but my goodness. Big woof. What an uninspiring performance last night. Yeah, Joey Zielinski, what an absolute rock star. Why isn't that guy on the main team or whatever? Let's see him light it up. And Santa Claus, garbage time goal, big woof against a minor league team, and you want to sit there and celebrate like you've scored 15 goals this season. Big whoop to you, fella. You need to be shit. You're gonna get on, shipped on out of here, okay? My goodness, I am not high on this club whatsoever. Melberg, the clock is ticking, and Lutz Bannensteel. Hey, just because there's guys over in Germany that used to play in Bundesliga or the second Bundesliga doesn't mean they're good MLS players, okay, fella? So start looking for some fresh talent. Let's get some homegrown talent up in the pitch here at City, and let's not try to rely on the secondary market or the third market or whatever it's called, Eric. I am fired up. This team is going nowhere and going nowhere fast. Where's Roman Berkey at? I don't know where he's at. Bring him back.
Yeah, we need him back. Ben Lint's been pretty good, but just like, that his leadership, the whole vibe he gives to the team. Fans love him, obviously, men and women, I think, love him for different reasons. But Tito on San Diego FC, +160 on the money line. I could see that flipping where San Diego becomes a slight favorite, but you're going to still get a good plus money price on that. Shawn, where are you going on this one?
Yeah, Eric, you called this a few weeks ago, and the books really aren't in on MLS. You can take advantage of this. I don't understand it. For me as a gambler, I don't know much about soccer. I don't really gamble with soccer. And I keep seeing City lose, right? We lose. And somehow we're just not a big dog every week. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know if the books think we're going to be City draw again. Berkey's not in there. I don't know what's going on with these odds. I don't get it, Tito. But, I just had some hail damage. I'm thinking about going over there and putting all my cash on this game instead of replacing my roof. But, we're not going to do that. That's just a joke. Everybody calm down. But, yeah, I don't understand, MLS at all. So, if we're the worst team in the league, do we get the number one pick next year? Is that how this works? Or is there a draft?
Tito? I'm not sure how that works.
No idea. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever, okay?
Well, I just didn't know,
homegrown talent.
Right. Well, I didn't know how this works. So, at this point,
there's a super draft of college players that you can draft out of. But in soccer, it's all about the club. It's all about how you have homegrown talent. You can't just spend money just to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys over in Europe, they cost a fortune to convince them to come over to Europe. So you have to be able to develop players within your system. So that's what City 2 is, right? So they have an academy team, they have an MLS Next team, they have a pro team, things like that then have to get moved up the pike a little bit. So that's why first season Miguel Perez, he was a homegrown player and he was starting half the games, and then all of a sudden now you can't see him anymore. I don't know where he got transferred to a club last year, but he's not with that club anymore. But he can't find he can't find the spot on the roster for this active roster. So I don't understand it whatsoever. But that's the huge concern. Again, we don't have the money to spend on these, superstar athletes like the Miamis of the world do. So you need to start developing homegrown talent and not have to just solely rely on the draft either.
Yeah,
I would take San Diego. That's my bet.
On the money line?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, at the plus 160. I actually don't think this one is that mispriced. I would probably have this flipped where I'd have San Diego as a slight favorite instead of City. I mean, the games that were at home against Columbus and Vancouver, those were way mispriced because Columbus and Vancouver, two of the probably top 3 or 4 teams in the league. And I cashed on both those. The last 2 games on the road at LAFC and at Seattle, City was a huge underdog in those games. They covered the LAFC game. They did not cover the Seattle game. So I don't think this line is that wonky, but I do not have a good feeling about City here. I mean, they were not creating much in that game with Union Omaha. If it wasn't for that banger by Zelensky, it's very possible that game ends 0-0 because, right. City was not generating a lot of chances. City also played a good chunk of their starters. I think ideally they wanted to play a lot of the younger kids in that game, but I think everyone in the organization knew they had to win that game on Wednesday. If they lost that one or got eliminated from the cup, it would have been a mutiny amongst the fans and supporters. So I think we could see some tired legs on Saturday. San Diego did not have to play this week, so they'll be fresh. These 2 teams played back in March in San Diego. It was a 0-0 draw, but San Diego was definitely the better team in that one, and they have been scoring a lot of goals this season. I was surprised to see this, that they have scored 21 goals so far this season. Only 2 teams in MLS have scored more. So this is kind of how I get to my pick. I'm pretty confident San Diego's going to score at least 1 goal. And after watching the last couple games, I'm not sure if City can score more than 1 here. I mean, you can never rule out scoring 1 just because, things happen. Someone makes a play like Zelensky made last night, but they're just not very dynamic with the ball. So I'm not going to be as brave as you guys. And this has actually worked out for me. Shawn, I know you kind of give me shit sometimes, I'll take the big play for the big money, but this has actually worked out for me with City. That game against Vancouver where I had 4 units on the plus 0.25, where you guys were giving me shit about betting the Asian handicap. I ended up cashing 2 units on that game because it was a draw, and you guys bet the money line and lost. So I think in soccer, I think I kind of err on the side of conservatism because just with such games that are low scoring, I feel I can kind of see a lot of times okay, there's a lot of things that would have to go wrong for me to lose this bet if you're taking, something that is more of a spread rather than just the money line. So I'm taking San Diego in the draw no bet market at minus 105. That means City has to win the game in order for me to lose the bet. And they're just not winning games right now. outside of Union Omaha. So if this game ends in a draw, my bet would be a push. So, if obviously if San Diego wins, I cash my bet. So I'm really worried about City, not just with the results of being in they're in 13th place in the conference, but this is just not fun to watch, Tito. Like, and you as a season ticket holder, I'm sure you're aware of it. Like, they've had a few games that have been super entertaining. Like the Columbus game was really fun. The LAFC game was just the second half was just out of this world. But overall, like, they just don't have any finishers that are clinical, like on a consistent basis. And just like, quite frankly, and I know I say it every week, I love soccer. I feel like I have to defend myself, but these games have just not been fun to watch. So I'm hopeful that turns around against San Diego. But like,
you guys gave me a hard time, but I talked about it. It hasn't been fun.
But I'd say the first two seasons, especially the first season, which is besides the fact it was brand new, it was a fun brand of soccer. I know it's kind of chaotic, and that led to some really poor defensive performances, but it was very fun. And I think you kind of saw that with the crowd on Wednesday. I know normally I would have been excited to go to that game, and I just had no interest in going last night because I'm like, this team's not going to entertain me, even if they win.
It's zero interest. Yeah. I mean, and to your point earlier about, you never know if they're going to score a goal or not. They had 0 corner kicks last week. When you pack everyone back and yet you have 10 guys back, behind midfield, you're going to be able to try to control the tempo and you're going to be able to try to control the defense. But that gives you you have no imagination, no chance at scoring any sort of goals. The one goal they scored last week wasn't a penalty kick, by the way. I think it was a penalty kick.
Yeah, it was.
But they had no offensive option. There was no constant pressure. They were getting pressured over and over again. Again, 0 corner kicks last week. You scored 2 goals against a minor league soccer team. Big woof. You got to open it up. You got to be able to, have your playmakers. The Hartels of the world can't, Klaus can't generate any offense. This Betcher feather. I was super high on him in the preseason. This guy, he's a slew guy, and he can't do anything. I mean, I am completely, overwhelmed with that freaking guy. I mean, that guy is a complete dumpster fire. So hopefully the Zandy Silver guy they got from Atlanta, hopefully maybe he can. I don't know. He didn't really do a whole lot for Atlanta. So, I'd rather see Zelensky up here doing this upcoming match, or keep on playing the younger guys. But my goodness, it is not exciting whatsoever. And that's the thing. I mean, the fans, it's a good atmosphere, but the pitch, it's like the exact opposite of the Cardinals. The Cardinals actually have an exciting product on the field, and the people in the stands are, we can't stand the Cardinals. All that nonsense, all that noise. Well, at the City games, the atmosphere is outstanding. You got the supporter section, you got the flags running, you got the drums being banged and all that fun stuff. Everyone's standing up for the most part. And then the stuff on the field is completely lackluster. I mean, the only thing exciting is the head coach's wardrobe. He wears sweatpants. I mean, why don't you show some class and actually put on some slacks, you fella? Okay, change it up a little bit. Maybe your team will then change it up and start scoring some damn goals.
That's actually my favorite part about all offices outfits. I'm a big fan of that. I like dressing comfortably. I think it's a great point, Tito, that just kind of the dichotomy there with the Cardinals and City. I think you kind of nailed it there. The City has this great fan base, and the product is just so dull right now. I did see today, again, we're recording this on Thursday, Domesticated Gamblers After Dark here with the late night episode that will be posted on Friday, May 9th. Did you see Aston Villa from the Premier League is coming in to St. Louis for an exhibition? I think it's during when the League's Cup is going on, which City is not participating in. But Aston Villa from the EPL will be coming in for an exhibition on July 30th. That is something I'll be getting tickets to. I remember I was here when Bayer Leverkusen played the very first game against St. Louis City to kind of christen the new stadium. You could just tell Bayer Leverkusen just running circles around us. I think it was 3-0. So just you see the difference in the quality, but being able to see not just a Premier League team, but Aston Villa is a very, very good Premier League team. I'm really looking forward to that.
Are they going to play City?
They're going to play City in an exhibition because that'll be the preseason for the EPL. So that's kind of them getting warmed up for their season.
5-0. What do you think?
That's the Leverkusen game, if I'm not mistaken, was 3-0. Yeah. I think there will be a line posted for that. I think I'm going to be give me some Aston Villa. I got to see what the lineup's going to be. How about another place that has a really good atmosphere is the Battlehawks. And I know they're not at home this week, but they have a product that has been pretty exciting. It looked really shaky a couple weeks ago. Like, man, I think this could go really downhill. But give them credit. They have had 2 big wins over these last 2 weeks to get their season back where they needed it to be. So they're going to be on the road at Memphis on Sunday afternoon. Battlehawks picked up a very important win last weekend over Arlington. That actually, DC, I believe they lost last week. That puts the Battlehawks in a tie for first place in their conference at 4-2 with DC. They're 1 game ahead of Arlington for a playoff spot, which is 4 games remaining. So, and this is a game on Sunday the Battlehawks should win. I know they're on the road, but Memphis is 1-5, and they've scored the second fewest points in the UFL. So this is not a good team. The Battlehawks are a road favorite, a 4.5-point favorite. Total is set at 38.5. So Shawn, you going hockey on this one? Total, where are you going on this?
Last week I went hockey laying 3.5. I believe that was the line. We cashed that. We cashed the under.
Yep.
Domesticated Gamblers.
That was a no sweat under too,
Yeah.
by the way.
I mean, Domesticated Gamblers, folks, we've been cashing you some money, so I hope you're following us on our bets. Just wait till football season. This thing's going to get hot. Give me hockey. I'm going to lay the 4.5. I think hockey wins this thing pretty easily. Don't worry about that one game. It's, football, things happen. Sometimes your linemen have a bad game. Don't worry about that one game. Hockey's still in the running to make the championship game here at home. And I'm excited. I think that's going to happen. And the Dome's going to be rocking, baby.
I'd love to see it. Tito, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, no, I'll kind of sit this one out a little bit. I like I said, I loved the under last week. This Memphis squad doesn't have it. Tito likes to talk about it a lot. So hopefully the Battlehawks can pull it out and take care of business. And I'm not sure if this offense is going to light it up a little bit. I don't know about that under. That under is a little low, 38.5. I don't know. We'll see if they can light it up, and maybe that defense kind of takes a few plays off, and we get a little bit of that over. I don't know. We'll see.
If I'm going in, I am a football coach. Here's how I'm taking this game. I'm going to run the rock. We're going to play ball control. We're going to play slow pace. So I like the under, and I like us to cover. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I will toot my own horn. I absolutely nailed that pick last week on the under because I remember the last time they played Arlington just 2 weeks prior, there were 3 defensive touchdowns in the game. That's the only reason the first meeting went over. So I did personally bet the under 42.5. I said on the show I could see it going way under, and that's exactly what happened. The final was 12-6, so 18 points. So I was spot on there. I don't love it quite as much this week, but I definitely still lean under again. Like 38.5, that's pretty much about what these UFL totals have been. I mentioned how Memphis isn't any good offensively. They average just 15 points per game. And the Battlehawks, like, man, they are really just one-dimensional with this Max Duggan at quarterback. So I saw in that win last week, they had only 171 yards of total offense. And he's now played almost 3 full games at quarterback, Duggan has. Because that first one, I think Wilkins got hurt on the first drive of the game. So basically, he's had 3 full games. And Duggan is averaging just 98 passing yards per game. So not even 100 passing yards per game. So I think this one could be ugly as well. But the Battlehawks, they do have an effective ground game. And Memphis is 1-5, like I said. So, like, I think the Battlehawks should win. And if you should win, you should be able to cover a short number like that. But I think the best play here is probably the under 38.5. I'm not quite sure if I want to bet it yet. Probably want to see how Sunday go because it's Sunday afternoon. Let's kind of see how the week goes. See if I'm in the mood for some action or not. I got a big birthday party for Andy on Saturday. So I think we're going to be tired on Sunday. I might just want to lay around the couch, watch some UFL, and bet some gross unders. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, the head coach goes in here. You pump up your defense. You tell them how shitty the other team is. We're going to knock them in the face. And we're going to run the ball because Dugan can't throw the ball. We're going to run the rock, and we're going to get out of there maybe with a 13-3 win.
It would not stun me to see the Battlehawks hold Memphis to single digits. That would not stun me one bit. So I feel like I take unders every week on the show for Battlehawks games. But I think
what a surprise!
I know, right? Well, we're going to get to some NHL and NBA playoff talk here in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you about our other great sponsor, and that is James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are a lot like me. where you're saying to yourself, good God, like pretty much everything I buy now is more expensive than it was a year or two ago. Well, it does not have to be like that when it comes to your home and auto insurance. And Tito and I are living proof of this. James Carlton is now the insurance agent for both of us. And for me, I am saving over $800 here in 2025 because I made the switch from my old agent over to James. So for everyone watching this, I truly mean this. I know you probably don't think much about who your insurance agent is, but if you have had the same person for a long time and you just renew every year because you don't want to think about it or you don't want to deal with it or it's boring, whatever, I get it. But man, you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't reach out to James and his team. It seriously takes just a few minutes to get a quote. You can do it at carltoninsurance.net or just email them PDFs of your current policies like I did. They'll take a look and let you know if they can save you money. And I am highly confident they'll be able to do exactly that for you. When you get a quote, mention Domesticated Gamblers or Sports Hub STL, and they'll donate to Mizzou's NIL fund on your behalf. So call 314-961-4800 or go to carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. And guys, this is a little, go
one
ahead.
Thing, we live in Arnold here. We went through, that little tornado.
Yeah.
And I had a terrible experience with my insurance agent. And what was that number again? Let me write that down.
314-961-4800 for James Carlton. I think you're right, Shawn. A lot of times
I'm going to give James Carlton a call because, it was a terrible experience for me and I'm moving on. I'm ready to call James.
I think a lot of agents that are not really of the quality of someone like James get exposed when really challenges happen that you really need someone's services in a big way. And Arnold, I know, got hammered by that storm. So truly mean it, guys. This is not just like, oh, they're an advertiser, let's pump them up. Like, James is the real deal. Tito, I'm sure you can attest to it too. Just first-class operation, just with the way they operate. It's a well-oiled machine. Look if you don't trust me, trust the Google reviews. Like, just go online and search James Carlton, State Farm. You're going to see hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews. So highly recommend. Yeah, Shawn, definitely
give make the move.
Yep. Well, so a sore subject for me is the St. Louis Blues right now and how that ended. But there's still been a lot of great drama with these NHL and NBA playoffs. We got some money-making opportunities. I cashed a bet last night that I'll tell you guys about. So we're going to take a look at these games on Friday and talk about some of the bets that we like. And I do want to get started in the NHL. You got Craig Berube, 2019 Stanley Cup champion, Craig Berube, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Good for him, man. Up 2-0 on the defending Stanley Cup champs in the Florida Panthers. Game 3 is on Friday night in Florida. I don't know if you guys saw this line. Panthers are minus 230 on the money line. Toronto is a plus 190 underdog. Total set at 5.5. Shawn, I think we know what we need to do here, right?
I'm laying a goal and a half, and I'm taking Florida at plus 118. It's do or die. This is how Sharpie bets. I know you don't like this, but I like Florida. They're going to win a game in this series. They're back at home. I like Florida here. Lay the goal and a half, plus 118. Change that money line right to your pocket. And I do need to talk about this Blues game. God, I'm a Packers fan, so I've lived through heartache my whole life. I'm a Blues fan. This was up there in the top losses of all time. I feel great with Monty. 1 fucking second. Motherfucker. 1 second.
It's definitely one of the most unique. I wouldn't say it was the most painful, but one of the most unique and unexpected losses when you go from just absolute thinking this is over to all of a sudden you're going to overtime. It's brutal. Go ahead.
We kept trying to ice the puck and just take control for 1 second and make a good shot at the net.
I'm really glad I had my emotional risk management wager on the Jets, and I added more in the intermission before overtime started. I'm like, I can't handle this. I do agree with you, Shawn. If you're going to bet the Panthers in this game, that's the way to do it. Don't lay minus 230. God, don't ever do that. The minus 1.5. If you're going to do it, do that. But I just think that you are paying the I don't know. I wouldn't call this a degenerate tax, but this is the public square. Oh my God, these are the defending Stanley Cup champions. They have to win a game tax. Like if this game was played in the regular season, there was no way that the Panthers are even pushing minus 200, let alone a minus 230. So for me, it's just a price thing. And really, if it was any other coach besides Berube, I'd probably just pass. With Berube, like, I don't think he's going to let these guys let down. So Florida might very well win the game, but just like from a ethical standpoint, for me, it's like as a gambler, I see a misprice like that plus 190. Like, I got to throw at least like a half unit on the Maple Leafs. It's just a little sprinkle.
Tired legs for Florida 2 years in a row here. They've been on the ice a lot. But I think they get one game at home here. I would only lay the goal and a half. I'm not laying 230. Heck no way.
Yeah. Tito, be the decider here. Where are you going?
Yeah, what's the number? Is it plus 190 and just money line?
Yeah, for Toronto to win the game. So you're almost getting 2-1 on your money.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready for that. It's going to be a close matchup. A lot has changed. Tito hated the Maple Leafs in the early 90s. Felix Potvin, Big Wolf, Pat Burns, I think was the head coach. Oh my goodness, I hated the fucking Maple Leafs. But now that Chief is there, I want to see them hoist the cup this year, Daddy. So I don't know. I would like to see what the odds were, like if the Maple Leafs were getting a goal. Because I think this are maybe a half a goal or something like that. So I think something like that would be more my
Maple Leafs
versus.
I got you right here. Maple Leafs plus a goal and a half is minus 140.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I like something like that instead. I definitely think it's going to be a close game. Chief always keeps it entertaining. The swings have went back and forth. The Maple Leafs in the first round, they would have a 2 or 3 goal lead and they would lose a cut. They would let in a few, but they would they would bend, but they wouldn't break. So that's where I would go with that. But if I had to bet one, I think I would go with the Panthers money line. But those are big odds that I'm not going to even want to entertain. So
I would never lay minus 230 on a playoff hockey game ever.
Yeah.
No.
So I like the plus goal goal and a half for minus 140. I think that's where I would go.
I think it's a smart way to approach it. I really do. The other game on Friday should be your St. Louis Blues taking on the Dallas Stars, but instead it's the Winnipeg Jets hosting the Dallas Stars. And good for Dallas. They're up 1-0 after beating Connor Hellebuyck, and he's giving up just goals left and right again in bunches. The Jets, narrow favor here, minus 118 on the money line. Stars a minus 102 dog. Total again, 5.5. Tito, you want to lead us off on this one with the Stars and the Jets?
Yeah, again, I don't know what's going on with Tito. I can't stand that Pete fucking DeBoer fella that's leading the Stars. My goodness, big wolf to that guy. But I definitely want to see the Stars take care of business in that fraud Connor Hellebuyck. I don't care what Winnipeg Jets fans are saying about, they beat us. Lottie freaking da. That guy gave up, 3+ goals in like 5 of the or what, like 3 or 4 of the games against the Blues. And he didn't turn it around against the Stars. That Mikko Rantanen, that fella knows how to light it up. So I like the Stars in this aspect of it. Lay the minus 102 and look for the Stars to take home ice and take complete control of this series and take care of business tomorrow night. That's where I would be going with this bet.
Yeah, with six of the 7 games, Hellebuyck allowed 3 or more goals
Big wolf
against the Blues. I got more numbers for you here in just a second, but Shawn, I'll let you go first. What do you got on this one?
Yeah, Connor, he did show up. He gave up 3 goals in that game 7, and then he stood on his head. But Winnipeg, they were blocking shots. Their defenseman, it was incredible. We couldn't get a shot on net. They got to be tired. Dallas has got to be tired. I don't love anything on this game. The only way I would bet it is I would lay the goal and a half with Dallas at plus 210. I like to play big odds here in the playoffs, NHL. It's the only way I like to bet. So that's kind of appetizing, but I'm not going to personally bet anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Hellebuyck stood on his head. I think he just kind of did his job. I don't think there were any chances in overtime. I think Walker might have had the best chance where the puck kind of squirted in right in front, but either Hellebuyck got like a lucky knob of the stick on that or it went up high or something. But so that's where I'm going for my bet in this game. I'm just going to continue riding a bet I cashed a few times in the Blues series with the Jets, and that is for the Jets opponent to go over their team total of 2.5. I was actually on this one again in game 1 on Wednesday for 2 units. It cashed in the second period. Hellebuyck, it's now at least 3 goals that he has allowed in 16 of his last 17 playoff games. And man, they come in bunches. They come in bunches too. Did you see the Stars scored all 3 of their goals in a span of less than 8 minutes in the second period? Like I saw it was the Stars had no goals after the first period. I was like, God damn it. And I started to watch a show with my wife. And 20 minutes later, when the show's over, I look at my phone and the Stars have 3 goals and I've cashed my bet. So I love that play again. Dallas team total over 2.5. You do got to lay a little bit of juice there. It's minus 155. I actually had to lay minus 170 the other night, but I was like, just super confident. I did lay it, and I'm okay with it. I'm getting better odds on this one. And then when he goes on the road to Dallas for games 3 and 4, fucking 3-unit plays, I think, for both games. Like, and even and I could see this. I could see it losing in game 2. If you remember game 2 with the Blues, that was a 2-1 final. That was the one low-scoring game of the series. So I'm not saying it's going to hit every single game of the series, but I really do believe if you bet Dallas team total over 2.5 in every single game in the series, just like you did with the Blues, you're going to come out profitable when it's all said and done. I am super, super confident of that. Let's go over the NBA on Friday. Cleveland, what a round we've had so far with these underdogs. Incredible. Absolutely.
NBA, listen, shorten the season, make it better basketball. Because the NBA playoffs are on fire.
Oh my God. Incredible. It is great hoops. And the first game on Friday is the Cavs at the Pacers with Indiana up 2-0. You got the Cavs coming up here as a road favorite, 2.5-point favorite from last I checked. Totals at 229.5. So Shawn, do you have an opinion on this game?
I know you got a futures ticket here. You're sitting on with the Pacers. But I like the Cavs a lot here. This might be a 3-unit play for me, laying 2.5. This series isn't going to go 3-0 Pacers. This thing's going to be a long series. I like the Cavs a lot to get this thing done. And give me the Cavs laying 2.5.
Man, I don't know. That's a strong play there. You're given a 7-point lead with like less than a minute left at home, and you think they're going to come back in Indiana and take care of business. That Tyrese Burton, however you say it, he's an absolute gangster. Absolutely love this Pacers squad. You're right. It was an exciting finish. I'm not a big wolf on the NBA. All this talk about they're so tired. Oh, LeBron had to play 40 minutes. All these Lakers had to play 40 minutes. Guess what? That's what happens when you should be playing throughout the entire season. I don't want to hear about what's it even called? Load management, big wolf. I can't stand that type of analogy. I can't stand that acronym or that saying for the NBA nowadays. So I like the Pacers in this one. Give me the points and let's go Pacers. Let's see us take a complete, stranglehold of this series 3-0 against the lowly Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to be begging LeBron to come back in the offseason, Daddy.
You think Michael Jordan ever had load management?
Hell no.
Come on. Out of here. Kobe Bryant, load management. Come on.
Yeah.
You can tell we're in our 40s.
I had to play 40 minutes. Oh, I'm so tired. Get the hell out of here. You're making $80 million a year, and you're complaining about how tired you are. And yet you train throughout the entire year. Big wolf. Sorry, Eric.
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, you could tell we're 3 guys in our 40s, like, with all that nostalgia from the 90s. Looking forward to the NBA on NBC coming back in the fall with they're doing the AI generated voice of the guy that introduces the game. Yeah. They got the theme song coming back, Round Ball Rock or whatever it's called. So I can't wait for that. I have really turned into an Indiana Pacers fan. Not so much where I'm like emotionally impacted if they win or lose, but I'd gone to a couple of their games back when they actually played LeBron and the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals about 10 years ago. And I went to one of those games up there. I went to the Indy 500 in a Pacers Heat Eastern Conference Finals game on the same day in Indianapolis about 10 years ago, which was just freaking awesome. I guess it's longer than that now. God, it's probably been 12, 13 years. But I went to that game last year in the playoffs where they beat the Bucks, and Hellebuyck had a buzzer beater in that game too, but not at the buzzer, but it was like 1 or 2 seconds left to beat the Bucks. So I root for this team. I watch a lot of their games because they're on FanDuel Sports Network here in St. Louis. It's just a lot of fun. And Shawn, you referenced it. Most importantly, while I'm a Pacers fan, I got this futures ticket on the Pacers to win the Eastern Conference. I got a unit on it at plus 2,100. So I'm looking pretty decent to maybe potentially cash a 21 unit play. I'm loving the value I have there, especially if they play the Knicks, which looks like it is a really good chance with the Knicks up 2-0. I do disagree with you, Sean. I don't buy the Cavs being a favorite here. I wouldn't say they're cooked, but I don't know if you've noticed all the injuries they have. Like they have 3 of their key rotational players.
They were one of the deepest teams all year, and the injuries are piling up. Yeah.
And this is exactly what happened in this round last year with the Pacers when they were playing the Knicks. And the Knicks were a freaking mash unit by the time it got to game 7. And the Pacers just beat the hell out of them at MSG in game 7. And this Indiana team, they're super dangerous. They have so many weapons offensively that they have so many, basically every guy on the floor can score at any time. Halliburton, he was voted like by the fans or his peers as like the most overrated player in the NBA. All this guy does is hit clutch shots game after game. They have the experience after they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy my futures ticket. But if you're going to bet this one, I would take Pacers on the money line at plus 120. I don't know if this is going to be a sweep, but I think it's more likely. It is a sweep than it's not, because the Cavs are just so beat up. They might be cooked, and the way they lost game 2, boy, that is just like devastation
at home.
And the Pacers are lethal at home. Like that crowd is bananas. You know how they love their basketball in Indiana. So again, I'm just going to sit on the futures ticket, but Pacers money line be the way I go.
You get to the next round, you're sitting on 2,100, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to definitely take the Knicks on the win the series, right? You're going to hedge that a little bit.
I got to see what that's going to end up being priced at. I hope they play the Knicks, because it'll be closer odds. Because I had this same ticket last year for the Pacers to win the East. They make the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think Boston was like a minus 700 favorite to win the series. And I'm like, I need the Pacers to win one game in Boston, one of those first 2 games, and I'd be able to hedge. And in game 1, the Pacers blew a big lead. Jaylen Brown hit a 3 from the corner when all the Pacers had to do was foul, and they could have put him on the line. They ended up losing that game in overtime. So I never got the chance to hedge. And so this is my opportunity here. I think like if it is Pacers Knicks, I want to guarantee like probably at least a 3 or 4 unit profit. We're basically at profit 3 or 4 units, or like 12 or 13 units, depending. So I'm actually going to talk to you about that. If I get this opportunity, we're going to sit down and hash this out. Sean is my gambling concern.
I like to split my hedge usually, but yeah.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit, okay? The Celtics did win the championship last year. They're down 2-0. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's give them a little bit.
They almost beat the Knicks. They had a Knicks, it could have been a foul at the end of the game, but that was good defense. So I'm with you, Tito. The Celtics aren't dead yet.
No, definitely not dead. Yeah, Pacers Knicks, if it does become that, though, oh my God, like all those series from the 90s with Reggie Miller and Spike Lee and Patrick Ewing. Oh my God. Rick Smits, the Flying Dutchman, or the Dunking Dutchman, I think they call them. God, we are totally dudes in our 40s, domesticated gamblers for life.
Hey, you know what kids say now? They say Curry.
Instead of Kobe.
Not Kobe.
Yeah. No, it's Curry.
I hate that. I love Steph, but come on, man.
Yeah, he's out for a week.
Well, we're having some fun in this show. We're going to wrap it up with one more game to quickly talk about OKC at Denver. This is the one series that's actually tied 1-1 that we're talking about. Is that right? Did I screw that up? No. Yeah, for the NBA. Right. God, sorry. It's getting late. It's Domesticated Gamblers After Dark. OKC, 4.5 point favorite. They just beat the hell out of Denver in game 2. Your total's 233.5. Tito, you got anything picked out for this one?
Yeah, fuck the Nuggets. Fuck Kroenke. Fuck Michael Porter Jr. You get hurt 2 minutes into your only season with Mizzou. OKC, come on, Gil. What's it? SGA? Is that what his acronym is? Whatever. Let's go Thunder.
John,
I like Joker to get this one done. Give me Denver. Give me the points at home. I like them Denver to get this one done.
So I think if I'm gonna bet it again, I'm gonna just kind of see what kind of mood I'm in when the game comes on. Nuggets +1 in the first quarter, I think is what I have picked out, because then I can go to bed right after first quarter. You lose a game by 43 points. You what is it, a record of points allowed in the first half of an NBA playoff game? And now you head back home with your fans. You got a bunch of NBA champions on that team from winning a couple years ago. I think this is a situation you have to come out and play with some pride. OKC's really, really good. They might be the best team, but for one quarter at least, I think the Nuggets play with some pride and ball out. I'm going to take the Nuggets +1 in the first quarter.
Smart play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah. And
I
I
like
like what you're saying about see what kind of mood you're in. Those late night games, if you have a great day gambling, you throw a little taste on it.
Yeah, and I think that's key what you said, a little taste. Because I think what a lot of people do is they have a bad night and then they get to the late game and then they try and make it all back. Never do that. That's probably the number one, other than bankroll management, like do not chase is either number one or number two rule of gambling. That's why it was always the they call when Hawaii football plays at like 2 a.m. on Saturday night, Sunday morning, they call that the degenerate special because everyone's trying to make all their money back. Don't do that. Like if you're just looking for some action, your kids are in bed, your wife is reading a book or whatever, you just want to sit down and watch a game, throw a small taste, a unit, a half unit, just a little something, right, Shawn?
Oh yeah, maybe even a quarter unit, just a little taste. And then, like you said, you're probably falling asleep anyway if you're a domesticated dad. So a little taste.
Yeah, a little taste. All right, guys, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. I'm loving this. We got to make this after dark thing a habit, I think, whenever we can. Let's get down to our best bets. And Tito, you might be becoming an NBA prop sharp here because you've won 2 in a row now. A couple winners, been on a LeBron over and a Jimmy Butler over for their point totals. So, man, you're on a little bit of heater right now. So you going NBA for your best bet, or where are you going for your best bet on the show here today?
We're going to take a week off of the NBA. We're going to go to the NHL. I'm going to throw up after this because you saw me throwing hosannas at the Dallas Stars and that fraud Pete DeBoer, but I'm going to hit that well. Eric, I learned something from you a couple of weeks ago. You were smashing that Jordan Kyrou prop. And so, I was looking at the stats and I see a stat on there for Mikko Rantanen over 2.5 shots at -105. I love that play. That's the play. I mean, Mikko Rantanen, back-to-back games with a hat trick. So this guy's on fire. This club gets to they get put on the power play an awful lot. Logan Morrissey might be coming back for the Winnipeg Jets, but I'm not too worried about that. Mikko Rantanen's an all-star. He's an absolute stud. He's going to carry the Stars to the Western Conference Finals, in my opinion. So I like that play with Mikko Rantanen, 2.5 over on 2.5 shots.
Dude, I like it. He's played in 8 playoff games so far this postseason. That bet has hit 6 out of the 8 games.
Yeah.
I think it's sharp. I like it.
Tito's going to be putting $5 in this DraftKings account in November. He's going to be dabbling a little bit, just a little dab.
Oh, I like that, Tito. I really do. All right, Shawn, best bet last week. You took that May special on DraftKings. Over 13.5 wins for the San Diego Padres in the month of May. Off to a good start with that. 4-2 so far this month. And they get 3 games coming up this weekend with the Colorado Rockies, who have a record of 6-30. 6-30. Like the White Sox set that record last season for fewest wins. It might only last for 1 season because the Rockies are on pace for, I believe, 27 wins. So pretty good shape for your best bet. With that, we'll keep tracking it as we go along this month. But what do you got for the best bet on the show here today?
Yeah, I'm going to need a little help here. What's the series odds on that Rockies Padres series?
It's going to be crazy.
Is it? You think?
Let me keep going. Keep going. And
outsourcing that. We don't like that.
I absolutely love Luis Robert for a stolen base every game this weekend against Miami. Miami cannot stop the run. So I love to bet that prop play. I love San Diego to get the series win. Unfortunately, I'm having a little internet issue.
-280. -280.
Oh,
play. Yeah.
That's just a little too much. So if I'm going to go best play, I'm going to take the Cardinals, then the over. You convinced me with your data. I thought that series would be priced a little better than that. But absolutely hammer against the Rockies. Lay the 1.5. San Diego all weekend. They're going to crush the Rockies. The Rockies are garbage. They're terrible. It's a joke. Thank God the Cardinals aren't that bad.
Oh.
But give me my best bet. Give me the Cardinals over 8.5 tomorrow.
So over at 8.5 with the Nationals. I did see because I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, am I just going to lay -1.5 with the Padres all weekend long? They have not been scoring a lot of runs. I know they're heading to Coors Field, but their last 5 games, 2, 4, 4, 3, and 3. runs scored. So that's 16 runs scored in 5 games. Did a little Mike Francesa there.
Did you
too.
watch the Yankee series though? It was cold. It was raining.
Was it? Yeah, that's true.
It was a weird series. They're going to Colorado. The Rockies are getting obliterated by Detroit all weekend or all week. Yeah, they lost 2-10 and 1-11 and 6-8. They're the worst team I've ever seen. San Diego is going to crush them all weekend. Lay the 1.5. It's no big deal. You're going to cash.
Hold on, I got to hold you account. 2-10. Wait, what are we? You're a sports fan. I would expect that from my 3-year-old son.
10-2. 10-2.
Man. You got 10-2. Come on, you're better than that, Mr. Sharp.
I am. I just read it. I read it left to right. I mean,
but that's how you read.
Padres Friday night against the Rockies, -1.5 is -115. I'm not gonna lie. When I went to go look it up, I thought it was gonna be like -130, -140, -115. I think I'll be on that tomorrow. But the best bet is the Cardinals Nationals over 8.5 for you. For me, God, my streak of 3 best bet winners in a row came to an end. Just a gut punch of a loss. I don't know why I did this to myself. Barcelona getting knocked out of the Champions League on Tuesday this week. It was like so eerily similar to what happened with the Blues because I had 4 units on Barcelona to advance to the Champions League final. They were less than a minute away from advancing to the next round, but they give up a game-tying goal with just seconds remaining, and they end up losing in extra time. So just brutal. Literally 2 losses in 3 days, just like that with the Blues and then Barcelona. So I'm looking for the bounce back here. I'm going to keep fading Connor Hellebuyck. I'm taking the Dallas Stars to go over their team total of 2.5 on Friday night for my best bet. I just talked about this a few minutes ago. Hellebuyck has now given up at least 3 goals in 16 of his last 17 playoff games. Cashed this bet in game 1. I'm going to bet it every single game in this series. You got to lay the juice, but I fully expect this to be profitable when it's all said and done. Dallas Stars over 2.5 in their team total at -155 on DraftKings for my best bet. All right, let's finish up with our home team play of the week. This is our favorite play in the games involving the local teams. I think the best play for the local teams is your best bet, Shawn. The over 8.5 in the Cardinals and Nationals. Fetty and Parker, they just been playing with fire like just about every single start. I think at least one, if not both of them, gets roughed up. And with just that terrible Washington bullpen we talked about, I think we'll get an over here. So over 8.5, my home team play of the week. Shawn, you got anything else other than that over for the home teams?
I'm going to change my best bet to the Rockies -1.5.
You mean the Padres?
The Padres, not the Rockies. Sorry, I'm getting super tired here. I got to go back because that's really what I want to bet all weekend. But I do agree on the Cardinals. I'll take them from the hometown play. But my best bet definitely San Diego -1.5. They're going to kill Colorado.
Tito, what do you got? Home team play of the week.
Well, here I go. Folks, I'm going to take another trip out of Eric's book. We're going with San Diego to take care of business. They're going to win. +160. Give me San Diego, Daddy.
Oh, I like it. You're coming to the dark side, Tito.
Oh, yeah.
90-minute show, boys. I know I loved it. I hope you, as the viewers, enjoyed it. That is going to do it for us. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the Sports Hub STL YouTube channel. Leave a comment on this video. We can chat with you there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Gambling Dads. And most importantly, guys, support the advertisers. Seriously, you're going to love them. It's really easy to support them. All you got to do for Samonides Sweets is just go to samonidesweets.com, or you can just click the link in the YouTube description. Order some cookies, get them delivered to your home, and just take 5 minutes. Get a quote from James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. Super confident you're going to be saving money, much like Tito and I are. I don't even know. My conjugation it's weak. It's 10:50 at night. We're domesticated dads. James Carlton's phone number is 314.
That was a conjugation.
314-961-4800 or online at carltoninsurance.net. You'll see his info in the YouTube description as well. Shawn, you got one last thing?
And leave a comment on your bets. We love the comments, because there's some fans out there that are sharps, and we want to hear you guys' bets for sure. And that was the only thing I got to say.
What does gator mouth mean? I don't understand what gator mouth means. Come on, answer that question, Tim. Yeah.
Tim. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get the gator mouth. We got to get an explanation for that. All right, guys, let's all go to bed. For Shawn, for Tito, I am Eric. This has been Domesticated Gamblers here on Sports Hub STL. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next Friday.
Let's keep cashing.